What's up, guys? This is Derek and David with Two Guys Build a Biz, and we have a question for you. Is your day job holding you back?
Locked up, I'm not the killer. Back down, I'm not the killer. Why run? I'm not the killer. Sit down, I'm not the killer. I've been wrong.
We're full-time with the SMMA now at this point. I remember driving to my full-time job, listening to motivational tapes or like Gary Vaynerchuk, getting pumped up to do a full-time sales position. But he basically said, if you're listening to this right now and you're driving to a job to work for somebody else, you are not an entrepreneur. And as much as I was pumped up that we had started this business and we had our LLC and we had a couple clients, I kept that in check and didn't get my ego too high to say, yeah, I'm a CEO or I'm an entrepreneur, because my ass was driving to work for somebody else. So I always stayed humble, during that time frame, and never really considered myself an entrepreneur or an actual business owner until we took that leap of faith and quit our jobs to do this full time. Working a full-time job is, important. It can help you grow your business and let you incubate this process while you're learning, while you're getting clients. But there comes to a point that we both realized that we weren't giving our full 100% effort into the business, and making that full-time jump was going to exponentially grow our business and our life. I think I remember a moment where we had talked about it a lot. I had actually received a job offer from another company, and I remember calling up David and just saying, hey, what are we going to do here? And we just had that conversation, is this going to be something that we keep as a side hustle and we make a few $1,000s extra a month and it's a nice bonus and something that we just keep on the side? Or is this something that we need to take seriously and do it full time? And I think, without speaking for David, it was a no-brainer. We had proven the concept, we had a few clients, we had some processes in place. And then we made the jump. We didn't nearly have enough revenue to, sustain our lifestyle or replace our income. That was the ideal thing, is build this thing up until we're making the same amount as our job, and then we'll jump over. And the more we built this business, I realized that that's never gonna happen. It could happen. I'm not saying it can't happen for you, but it wasn't gonna happen for us in the time frame that we wanted it to happen.
Yeah, and I think Derek touched on a couple things there that are super important, specific to us. A few things, this was a very calculated risk that we took. Although we had a certain number that we wanted to hit, and then our second option was to have a certain amount in our savings, to have a certain bleed rate out of our savings against our earnings from the agency every month.
Right.
We road mapped actual timelines based off of our ability to sell and close new accounts to make the jump as seamless as possible. And we really spent a lot of time, although before that, and I remember the conversation, I remember I was in Portland at the airport and just pacing in circles talking to Derek, hearing about what was a pretty exciting opportunity for him. And I was just like, I'm not gonna tell you what to do. I'm good anyway, and Derek was too, but we were like, we both have this itch that we've been dying to scratch for years, which is that entrepreneur question. Can I be an entrepreneur? Do I have what it takes? And I think that both of us had kind of almost, before we started the agency, let that go away a little bit. We got super comfortable in our jobs. We were both making very, very, good money. Really hadn't had to ask questions about like entrepreneurship or anything like that for a while. And then almost simultaneously, we were faced with different situations at our different employers, and the perfect synergy of timing and elements and effort all came together and almost pushed us towards the agency.
Yeah.
It was like this weird thing where both Derek and I were on the exact same page. We were perfectly fit in terms of skill set and trust to be partners. It really just came down to, can we stand to lose all of our savings, and how quickly can we recoup those losses and get on the right track?
Yeah.
And we were both like, well, if we go fast and hard at it, like we can. if we just 10x the amount of time we're spending and quit our jobs, this is something we can do.
Yeah, and the risk was, like you said, lose the savings, and then how quickly could we get it back? And my mentality, and from the conversations we had, was, yeah, we could lose all our savings. This could be a huge failure, but what's the worst case scenario? We go back and we could even go back to the same company, and get a job there again, or go to another company doing the same thing, making the same amount of money. So worst case scenario, we lose our savings, we go get a job, we were right back to where we were, making the same amount of money. So the risk was, it just wasn't there in my mind. It just made sense. And you mentioned before, it was one of the best summers of your life. You got to really enjoy your time and be outside and do what you want, work from home, and
like all the things I felt guilty doing when I was working for somebody else. I felt like, especially when you're in a sales focused role, every hour that you're not at the office, or you're not on the road or what have you, you're kind of like, feel guilty to a certain extent, like you're selling yourself short, like you could be doing more with that time, or somebody's looking over your shoulder. When we left our jobs, I think it was the biggest relief, actually. Instead of being like, oh my gosh, we have no stability, we have no safety net, those feelings were definitely there, but we had researched everything ahead of time. Like, we knew every expense that was coming our way that was currently covered by an employer. Like, we knew exactly how much it cost to sustain our lifestyle every month, what that equated to in savings, what numbers we had to hit by when in order to make this business a success. And some of those were, hit right on, some were a week late, some were early, but at the end of the day, we really just stuck to the plan and stayed the course with it and never questioned it. And because it was entirely up to us for the first time in our sales career to go and make this happen, I feel like we actually felt like we were in more control. Super interesting, like somebody I really look up to is Jeff Bezos from Amazon, and I was watching like a bunch of his interviews, and this is kind of true across a lot of entrepreneurs. Like, when that idea comes, that is the idea for them. And for some of you, it's going to be SMMA. Some of you, this might be something that you try, you learn a lot from, and you move on to something else. But when that thing comes, you take a calculated risk. And for him, it was, he calls it like his, end of life regret quotient or something, where, he doesn't want to, at the end of his life, be, regretful of anything. And Amazon was that thing that he knew he'd regret not trying. And for me, this was the best business opportunity that I had ever created for myself, and I know it was the same for Derek. And it was like, we don't want to not do this and then spend the rest of our lives wondering, in 5 years, what if we had taken the agency full time instead of having it just be a side hustle? Maybe it would still be a side hustle at that point, but it wouldn't be our full-time jobs. It's been nothing but hard work since then. All the time has really allowed us to build this into what's becoming a really strong agency, in our opinion.
And I would say this video isn't at all to say that you should or shouldn't quit your job. Basically, we're just giving our story of what we did, and your job can actually aid you in building your agency. We both were in sales roles, and I was actually selling social media packages for another company. So every time I closed a deal, I was actually just sharpening my own skill set to do it for my own company. It's smart to have a full-time job while you're starting your business. It gives you the financial capital to stay afloat while you're testing the waters, learning, making mistakes. And then once you feel confident and you have a system in place that you can repeat at scale, then jump into it full time. That's what we did. We saw the opportunity, we had the clients, we had the workflows, we had the skill sets, we had the sales skills. We didn't have to hire anybody. We can sell, we can fulfill the services, we can write, we can shoot videos, do graphic design, do Facebook ads, we can do it all ourselves. So let's just,
the whole operations piece too.
Exactly. And it just came down to, we just didn't have enough time to put into the business. We were making cold calls before work, at lunch, after work, and then spending, after supper time, 6, 7 o'clock till 1, 2 in the morning, either sending out emails or fulfilling campaigns. So it just made sense to, jump into it full time. Here we are, 6 months later. We've got 17 clients right now. We're going to be at 20 here very quickly, and we just continue to scale and grow. And this is just kind of a honest take of what we went through, where we're at today. A lot of YouTube channels you see, they've gotten 2, 3, 4 clients, and now they're selling you a course. We're really not selling you shit. We're just telling you, we're trying to build a community here and just have other people, help each other grow. We want to help you guys. We want to hear your feedback. We just posted a video on tips and tools, and somebody in the comments, shout out to you, we'll put you on the screen, gave us some tips on some tools that we hadn't heard of. So this is a collaborative process, and
there's plenty of clients to go around too.
Yeah.
It's like and we just want to make sure that everybody doing SMMA sharpens their sword and learns the skills and learns how to properly do an agency, and that's only going to help all of us get more business in the long run. If every agency you work with just knocks it out of the park for you, then you're going to be that much more inclined to do business with more agencies. It's going to be good word of mouth. Maybe one's a dentist focused, but a dentist has a great experience, and his chiropractor buddy's like, hey, how'd it work with that agency? It was amazing, and then we call them, or you call them, or whoever calls them, and they're dying to talk. So just the more we can all teach each other, the better.
So we have a sales call to jump on here in 5 minutes, but like you said, comment below, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and let us know, are you working a full-time job now? What's your struggles, or are you looking to quit? Have you quit? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you on the next video.